Hey, this is Jeff again with the Valhalla Ventures ReiguideService.com, ReiguideService.com. Want to do a real quick live video. I don't know why I'm starting my live video the same way I start my recorded videos, but here we are. Today is November 9th, 2022. I almost said 1922. 2022. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. 45, so that's pretty cool. Didn't think I was going to make it this long. Not that I thought I was going to die young or anything. I just never really thought that far ahead, like what my life would look like at 45 years old. I don't really think a lot into these videos before I make them. I didn't have any idea of what I was going to talk about. I just know that my kids and wife are at a homeschool meetup, and my power is out because I live out in the middle of nowhere, and that just happens occasionally. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do a video, and I didn't want to record anything, so I thought, hey, I'll do a live that no one will watch live, and that will be neat. There's so many different things you couldn't have planned for, you know, like when I started in this business, there was no cell phones being used. We used to use key maps. Have to open up that orange plastic coated key map, look for the address in the back, find the page that it's on, little crosshair section, that's where you're supposed to be. Used to get lost all the time using those things. I wasn't very good at them. I had an assistant at one point that would get really frustrated trying to give me directions over the phone when we did get cell phones, but we still didn't have GPS. So there's a lot of things that have changed, right? A lot of stuff that you can't plan for. A lot of the stuff that I used to have a personal assistant do, that job just doesn't exist anymore. There is no need to take care of schedules or calendars or reminders or send mailing lists. Like pretty much everything can be done automated in that sense. I never really had a personal assistant that did stuff like drop off my laundry. So I've always done that. But I guess what my point is, you know, whenever I started down my path of being in this business, I thought for sure I was just going to be like a handyman, you know, and then that's a pretty cool job, actually. I plan on at some point going back so I can be full circle. You know, they say success is a circle, not a ladder. You don't climb the ladder of success because once you've accomplished a wrong, you still have to go back and do that same thing over and over again. It's the thing you did that made you successful, so you have to keep doing it. Wrongs you climb up and then it's down below you and you don't have to address it again. But anyway, I just wanted to do handyman stuff. I thought it was cool. I thought it was neat that you could get a bunch of the different tools like ladders and scaffoldings and little hand crank things to lift drywall to the ceiling and banjos for putting drywall mud on. And I just liked all the accessories, all the accoutrements. I like learning how to make things look right. It typically took me a lot longer to learn because I didn't really have like mentors per se, but I would watch what other people did. I used to stand in line at the Builder Square, which isn't around anymore, and Home Depot later, and reading the books on like electrical, plumbing, HVAC, how to build a deck, how to repair a roof. Like they had a whole library section on that kind of stuff, and I used to read quite a bit of that. I didn't buy too many of them. I do have a very nice selection from my youth of popular mechanics home repair books that are pretty old. They're from like the 50s, and they're pretty relevant still because a lot of the stuff, you know, framing, drywalling, that kind of stuff. There's some techniques now that are used that are different. Spanning, of course, is way different. Even in the time that I've been alive, you know, you used to be able to span a 2x6 to like build a deck or something. You could use that 2x6 and span pretty comfortably 6 feet. I didn't. I was a 4-foot guy back in the day. But there's a lot of decks I saw with that kind of span, and you just can't do that anymore with the 2x6. It's because they're the rapid growth, right? Like when you look at the rings, the the big giant gaps means that they grew really, really fast, which that's great. You get more lumber quicker, but that lumber is less dense, and therefore its ability to maintain a structural load is also reduced. So there's just like, technology and, who I'm going to be working with and what am I going to be doing and what are my passions going to be, because I still love tools. I'm sitting right outside of my garage, and you can basically not walk in it because of the tools. You can walk around in a little path, not a lot of room to do work outside of the workbenches. Just things take up room. Table saws, tile saws, those two things alone are like bench top size. They're massive. You can fold them up and put them in a corner, but there's still a lot of room. So I got all the tools that I ever thought I could want. There's a lot of mechanic stuff that I still am interested in, and machining stuff that I would love to get. But the business has just changed. What I do in the business itself, the way the business works, the way loans work, the way laws work, and it's really made me have to try to keep up constantly and figuring out what it is that I need to do to stay relevant, right? You can't just refuse to get a cell phone because there was no cell phones, or just keep using key maps because I don't know, I wonder if they still make key maps. I'll have to look that up. You have to go with the times. You have to move with the technology. You have to follow your passions. You have to be willing to redirect and, also not fall for the easier thing. There's so many people that are constantly looking for the next best thing. I've only had it happen a couple of times, thankfully. But I hear about a lot of people that will like hire trades to do a job, and then in the middle of working on that job, that trade will take off and go work for the neighbor painting their house, and they're not even done painting the first house. And I hear a lot of people like in the oil field industry and car sales and all these different industries. People are spending a tremendous amount of time just looking for the next best thing. They're spending not near as much time on building something within the space that they're already in, but constantly trying to figure out that next thing. And I'm here to tell you that I don't think that really works out. Like, I'm not seeing that be a benefit to anybody. I've seen it be a benefit to where you work really hard, you bust your ass at something, and then that work is recognized either by the people that you're working for or by someone else, and that someone else usually will try to pull you away. If you're a really good carpenter working for a contractor and you're not appreciated and you're not getting paid what you should be getting paid, there's going to be tons of other people that are going to recognize that work, and they're going to pull you away from that contractor. Even if you're loyal, even if all the right things are said and done, at the end of the day, you can't just be searching for someone to appreciate you. You have to appreciate yourself, be reliant on yourself, proud of the work that you accomplish, proud of yourself. Even when people don't pay you, even when people don't give you the money that you're owed, the acknowledgement that you're owed, the raises, the whatever it is that you're looking for. It's really, I'm very blessed to have not had to rely on a boss coming in and tapping me on the shoulder. I've had a lot of bosses that have come in and tapped me on the shoulder and been like, hey, you did a great job. And I've had a lot that have come in and been like, hey, I'm not real happy with the work that you're doing. But that's it. That's the end of that relationship, though, right? Like, if they like me, they will hire me for other stuff in the future. If they don't like me, no big deal. Give me my money, I'm out. And I like that part of the business, and it's scary because I have worked for real estate investment trusts and some law groups and whatnot for longer periods of times on contracts as a consultant, where I'm reviewing multiple properties, dozens of properties. And the longer you're there, the more that you can start to judge how those businesses are run, how they could be run better. Personality conflicts, there's the drama issues, there's all these things that you could really start to nitpick and pull apart. And I can see that because as a contractor, as a handyman, as an investor, the longer you're on a project, the worse it gets. Like, it's just, the laws of nature for some reason. I don't understand how they built the pyramids for that very reason. Because the laws of nature are that if you're just stuck somewhere, construction site, if you get the painters there and they're painting and then you say, hey, you guys did a good job, great, can you paint it again, now a different color, you're going to find it's going to be very difficult to find a painter that's going to be willing to do that again and again, because it's the same job site. They just did that. They don't want to do it again. Even though they're painting again, they don't want to just paint that building again and again and again. That's not an interesting life. That's not a fulfilling life. I know someone that actually worked for an offshore oil rig, and they did the painting on the offshore oil rig, and they hated it because it was just like circular nonstop. By the time he got done scraping and painting this post, that post, that post, that post, that post, well, now you're back to the first one you started on, and it needs to be scraped and painted again. And it was not a pleasant life. They made good money, but they were not happy at home or at work. I digress. So I guess on my birthday, I'm not really the celebrating my birthday kind of guy. You're not going to see me sparklers on a cake or anything like that. But what I would like to do is I would like to acknowledge where I am, where things are going for me, where I came from, and how the reason I'm so comfortable in saying I don't know everything and that I'm just doing the best that I can, making the best plans that I can, is because I've had to make those hard choices. Giving up my contracting company was a very, very difficult choice. It was the right choice for sure, 100%. I have no regrets whatsoever. But difficult still because, my entire adult life I was a contractor. My friends knew me as a contractor. My family knew me as a contractor. People I'd run into. And then, of course, the second that you're not that contractor anymore and you say, nah, I'm not doing that anymore, people are like, oh no, what happened? Is everything okay? And I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I decided I want to move on and move forward and do different things and not be trapped by something that I set up. I mean, it's weird to think that you can set yourself up for failure in such a successful way. But that's what I did. I had set myself up to have a big, fancy office, employees, receptionists, office managers, general managers, sales teams, supervisors, field supervisors. It was cool. I felt like a badass. You pull up to your job site and everybody's like, oh, there's the boss. There's the boss. Pull up to the office and everybody scrambles to act like they're working. It's a cool feeling, but it's so minimum compared to everything that you had to give up for it. So, being a handyman back again, I wasn't really a handyman per se, but I did a lot of favors for family, friends, people I knew that were asking me to do stuff forever. I caught up on a lot of that. And it was cool because I was in a lot of these houses by myself, like building fireplaces, fixing fences, did a couple bathroom remodels, kitchen remodel. I did quite a few things, and it really was not humbling. Like, it wasn't like, oh man, I'm back to doing the grunt work again. It was like, oh man, I'm back to using my hands. And at the end of every day, I am in control of the results that I see. And I really liked it. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm just going to become a full-time investor and start buying these properties and fixing them up myself. And that was the plan, of course. But then I still had so many people calling me for construction and consulting, and then, mixed with the investment stuff. I just, had some real estate investment trust that had offered me a substantial amount of money on short-term contracts to go evaluate properties. I took it. It's good. Made up for what I didn't make for the couple of years of doing handyman stuff for family and friends. And I'm moving my life down the road. 3 years ago I had a daughter at 42 years old, which was definitely not planned. I have a 25-year-old and a 23-year-old son. I did not think I was going to have a daughter or any kids again. At that point, I also have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old, so boys, all boys except for my daughter. And that's again, like I didn't start off planning on wanting any kids, and now I have 5. You know, I thought I was done. My kids are getting a little older, and it's like, oh, nope, 2 more boys. Okay, well, these guys are getting a bit older, so now I'm definitely done. Nope, a girl. So life just keeps doing that to you. It keeps throwing these challenges and things at you. And instead of me, like when I was younger, getting frustrated and, you know, my power's off right now. I would have been on the phone with the power company. Hey, what the hell's going on? I'm working. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to get things done. You guys are screwing me right now. I pay you to provide me power. Can you figure out when it's? I would have been that person. Not because I was a jerk, but because I genuinely was terrified. I had no idea what it meant to be an adult, what it meant to be responsible, what it meant to be to try to figure all this out. And I still don't have any idea what the hell I'm doing in a lot of different areas of my life. But I am very good at the parts that I promote myself at, and getting better at promoting myself and the skill set that I have, and not explaining and over explaining why I feel confident in that is something that I still work on, because I forget that other people look at 10 years in a business or 20 years in a business as a lot, where I look at how much accumulative knowledge I really do have. And it's a little too spread out, you know? Like, I know a lot about the construction stuff. I know a lot about like repositioning, and I know about remodeling, and I know about, you know, warranty and insurance, and I know about like all that side of it. But I'm just in the last 5 years starting to really learn about like the financing and the tax advantages, and, you know, LLCs versus trusts versus, you know, all these different elements that are put into it. And it's just, sometimes it feels overwhelming. So I'm glad that I've learned to be like, oh, okay, well that's overwhelming. I need to take a step back and take a breath. And there's just some stuff I need to figure out. I'm not going to get it all figured out, you know, sitting on my phone, you know, while my kids are trying to play in the backyard, yelling at me to watch them. No, I should just watch them. Just watch my kids play, figure this stuff out later. I don't know how this video has gotten to where it is. It feels more like a therapy session at this point than it does anything that would be marketing related in any way, shape, or form. So listen, I guess for me the message is that I'm glad that I was born. I want to have some sort of positive net effect on the world. If that's just my lineage and my kids having a great childhood, then that's okay with me, because I think that's enough. There's so many people that don't have great childhoods. So if I can provide 5 kids with an amazing childhood, that's pretty cool. If I could be great to, you know, my mom and the rest of my family members, and just be like, hey, you know, like, I'm not perfect, and, you know, but I'm never going to yell at you, scream at you, tell you I hate you. I'm just going to always be, you know, try to be respectful of whatever it is that you're doing, and try to be a good family member, not just call on birthdays and Christmas, but like check on you, care how you're doing, that kind of stuff. That to me is more important than having better stock picks, right? I've done things that have made me a tremendous amount of money, and I've done things that have made me lose a tremendous amount of money. And those memories aren't the things that I think about. Those aren't the things that get me emotional, or, you know, I'm not looking through pictures of old job sites on my phone and going, oh man, I miss that job site. But I do look through pictures of my kids when they were little. I do look through pictures of my dog that passed away last year and think, man, I should have rubbed that fat belly a little bit more. So those are the kind of things that now, as a business person, as a person that promotes the idea of, you know, work hard, benefit from that success, someone that promotes the idea of being blessed and blessing others, I think that it's important that it not all be business, 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 that not all my content be business, 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 because that's not what my life is. My life is not all business, business, business. I could make longer form content. I could edit the videos better. I could change clothes before I start making my videos so that I look appropriate. I could do something with the lighting other than add in a filter so that I don't have to. There's a lot of things that I could do to probably be more successful. I could definitely have more followers on my Instagram. I could have people watching my live. I could have more followers on my YouTube. I could have with that sort of validation. But I show my videos to my wife and she thinks they're great. She sometimes tells me that some are better than others. And I like that she's not always just patting me on the back. And I do have some people that watch my videos and give me the accolades and pats on the back. Sometimes they also tell me that they're not so great. And I like that balance. I would prefer to have that be all the feedback I get. I would like to never see likes or comments or commentary except from those people. Like other people's opinions, they do matter, but not in a group setting, right? Individual opinions do matter to me. And in an individual setting, if someone was going to comment or say they didn't like my video, I would love that and would like to address it. But I think that we're too focused on like, well, this picture only got 12 likes on my Instagram. But what if those are the 12 people that you've known the longest and the best in your life? Those are the people that really care about you, and they like every picture. That's why every picture of yours has at least 12 likes. Because those 12 people are there for you, they support you, they love you. If you need anything, they're going to be there. And I think that sometimes people take for granted the fact that if you have someone you can call to change a spare tire for you or to give you a ride because your shit broke down, you're in an advantage over a lot of people. Not the majority, but a lot. So just looking at those things to be grateful for, looking for those things to count as blessings has been my best blessing, I think. And it's allowed me the time and the freedom to bless my children, bless my wife, bless my family, bless other people and outside of that circle. And that's why I try to make videos and content and give out the information that I give out, because I truly genuinely want people to be successful. The competition for me in life, well, that was, sorry, I had an ant crawling inside of my pants. I wasn't touching myself inappropriately on live, so I couldn't have nice things. Anyway, I think it's still in my pants. It is still in my pants. Well, that's a good thing nobody watches these, huh? These giant tree ants are insane. Well, it's a good place to stop a video, right? Power's still not on. I'll figure out something else to do. Be blessed, bless others. Happy birthday to me. I hope that whatever it is that you're doing, you're really checking to see and verifying daily if that's the behavior that matches your goals. Not the goals that you thought you wanted, but the goals that you currently want. You know, if you want to figure out a way to spend more time with your kids, with your family, you can figure that out. If you want to find more time to do some investment stuff, you could do that. You can involve your family in the investment stuff. I think that accomplishing goals like that and looking up things and having those wins and successes and failures and all that really can bring a family together, you know? The farming method, but with real estate. Anyway, be blessed, bless others. If there's anything I can do, always feel free to reach out, reiguideservice.com, reiguideservice.com. Later.